ladies and gentlemen, fans of the NBA, welcome to LV Basketball for the very first episode. We're a bit late, wanted to start after game week 1, but we're halfway through game week 2. So we'll just talk about a couple of things, talk about a bit about the Lakers, a bit about the Embiid problem, Mavs standard, and of course Cleveland, who's gone undefeated, as well as OKC. So we are your hosts, Lethabo, here to my left, and myself, Vasili. So, Lethabs, let's start it with my Lakers. You know, I'm out here kitted in all the attire and everything.
Bro.
You know that had to be the main point. JJ Redick coming in, changing up the team immediately.
Yeah, the team is so centered around Anthony Davis now. Like, you can see literally almost every play. It's always that pick and roll. He picks, pops.
And I just feel like there's a whole lot more movement happening. You're not just having your other three players now standing. It's almost a bit more college level basketball where you've got the ball moving and getting everybody touches. Obviously, AD's usage has gone up tremendously. I think it's something like 25% now.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely a winning recipe, especially when you look, LeBron is going to always be LeBron. He's going to put good performances down. But at his age, you want to limit how much he has the ball in his hands personally.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like LeBron's conditioning. He always wants to play more minutes. Like you saw on what episode was it of Starting 5, where he was mad at the coaches for taking him out of like the first 5 minutes when he started the game hot. So I think it's a thing of, the problem is with the Lakers, if AD is not going to be AD, it's a problem. Then you need LeBron to overplay. The thing is, with AD and LeBron, you always know what you're going to get. But the problem is having that consistent third guy. Because it always varies. Sometimes D'Lo will have a great shooting game. Rui will get you like 10, 15, 20.
The boy Austin Reeves.
AR. But the problem is they're not consistent.
I don't know. Austin Reeves is having the best start to his season, his best start, period. He's shooting at the best clip he's had. He's got more. He's up on averages in assists and rebounds. Obviously, that comes with playing more minutes. But he is showing that he can be that third option or fourth option with him and D'Lo. Because D'Lo, look, I mean, he's a Laker, so I can't hate on him. But he's got inconsistencies, but I really like the way he shoots the ball. I think sometimes when D'Lo is hot, nobody's stopping him from three.
Yeah, like some even say, like, when he's hot, he's like Stephen Curry. Like, he can reach Steph Curry levels with his range, how quickly his release shot is, So it's a thing of, he's just very inconsistent. That's my problem with him. Even Rui. Like, Rui is 6'9", 6'10", but he doesn't play big.
Yes, he plays like a guard almost.
Yeah, like, it blows my mind because you guys could be utilizing him because of the space that LeBron creates for him. He should be more dominant. Whenever he's like posting up, I don't think anyone fears Rui in a post up. Like, he's not a great post up player.
Yeah, but he's got that fadeaway. He's got that turnaround fadeaway that he hits, especially at the free throw line around the elbows. He's very good. I like him there. Those little midi jumpers. He's got good averages there.
But what I would say is that, like, given the criticism that people had about JJ being LeBron's boy and everything, he's somewhat exceeded expectations. Even though they started well and then they've kind of slowed down. Because, like, the last win was against Toronto. Yeah. That was like an easy game, to be fair.
I wouldn't say.
But you guys made it. Come on. There's no Scotty Barnes.
There's no easy games in the NBA.
Come on now.
You have to come every night and perform at your best level because any team can come and beat you on any given night.
I get that, but 2 of the 3 best players went there. No Bruce Brown, no Scotty Barnes. Who's the third player? I forget his name. But already have 2 guys that are the mainstays in the team that are some of your best players and they're not there. And Lakers only win by 6. Come on.
Oh, look, I mean, like I said, it's still beginning stages, but I like the way JJ is actually playing them. I like the way that the basketball moves. I like that there's opportunities for everybody to touch the ball because I think that's how you get defenses out of sync. And the play where they lost, where Austin Reeves had the open shot, it was actually drawn up on Mind the Game.
Oh, yes. Where they had that out of timeout play when they spoke about it. Yes, I remember that.
LeBron
but he missed it.
Far, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to be happy with the play. You have to be happy that there's... Darvin Ham used to sit there and I used to see blank boards and him just writing something, erasing it. Like, come on, have a plan. So I really like the energy also that JJ brings. Like,
and then
in that first game with Ant, we was chirping him. I love that.
I saw that. And then, I laughed. I saw this Davin Ham meme during the week when he was there during a timeout and didn't write anything on the board. He was like, boys, you got to go hard. Salute. And everyone just went crazy looking at that. Now, every time I'll be on Twitter basketball, you just see people saying, if it was Davin Ham, you'd have just heard salute. But what do you think? Do you think Bronny should be getting more minutes?
It's hard to say. I think he's so young. He still needs to develop. And he does have potential. And I love that his first basket was a replica of his dad's move.
And against his dad's first team.
You know, it was nice. They did kind of ruin the party by beating them, Cleveland.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that
was a bad game for the Lakers. But, you know, I like the way they bounced back. It showed character, beating Toronto. And look, 4-2. It's not a bad start. And I mean, another team that's having a decent start, your Mavs, 3-2. I mean, not where you'd expect them, especially with the acquisition of Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think that they'd be also around the 4-1 area. But I mean, 3-2, not bad.
To be fair, I feel like with the fixtures we've had, we should be 5-0. We have not had a tough game, realistically. Like, on paper, matchup-wise, we're better than all the teams we've lost to. We lost to the Suns, who are getting better out, like Mike Budenholzer is doing quite a good job there. But we should be playing so much better. Also, Luka has been shooting the ball terribly. One of the games he shot at like 25%.
Yeah. And that's the thing, when you need your stars to be popping off at every night for you to be getting your wins. No fair. But I do like the chemistry that exists with it. I like the threat of Gafford and Lively coming in. And I like the way that Kyrie can involve them when he plays.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem is when Clay doesn't start hot.
My thing is, as the Mavs, we've always not had a consistent shooter. Now we finally have someone that is like at the caliber of Clay, but that should still not be an excuse. We should still be winning games. Last season, we started the season like 5-1, and we didn't have Clay. Tim Hardaway Jr. was shooting the ball decently. Clay's shooting better than he was, but yet we have a worse record. I think it's more of like defensive balance, because losing Derrick Jones Jr. is a big loss. Like, they're going to get me wrong, he's not as great a shooter as Clay. And it's easy to say Mavs would have played better if they had a shooter like Clay in the final against the Boston Celtics. But the problem is you take away the defense. Clay, don't get me wrong, Clay has always been a great defender, but he's not what he used to be. And he cannot defend at Derrick Jones's level, because Derrick Jones will be there blocking shots. He's super athletic.
He had length and athleticism, exactly, and that was the difference maker.
And from time to time, he'll get the 3-ball to shoot. There was a time in the season he had like a 5-for-6 game from 3. So, like, he's not the most consistent shooter, but he can knock the jumper down. But now it's like, what I'm struggling with is, like, in as much as we're running good plays, the last 2 games we've been struggling to get more wide open shots for Clay. It's like even when teams are double teaming Kyrie or Luka, the ball movement isn't quite as great that the ball ends up at Clay. Because why do we end up with Najee Marshall shooting a corner 3 when he can just swing it to Clay?
Yeah, that's true. But one thing that I've been seeing is that they committed, and Luka will go out there every night and he'll play, which brings us to our next point. Joel Embiid, what's happening there? You're on a supermax contract. You're the face of the league in Africa, especially.
True.
And
Africa, though. Brad chose to play for America.
Yeah, true. But you know, he'll always have his African roots, and Africa will see him as his, no matter if he plays for USA or who he plays.
We're not claiming him anymore. We're not claiming him anymore.
We're getting rid of him.
He had a chance
for Africa.
He had a chance to partner up with Pascal Siakam and create a great Cameroonian side, because Cameroon has quite some good players. If it was him and Pascal, 2 men, that's all you need in a basketball team to do great things.
You can do it also with the 2-man game.
Bro.
Yeah. I mean, Lakers won 2020 chip with a 2-man team with AD and LeBron.
Exactly. Apart from them, who else was in the starting 11? Kyle Kuz in the starting 5. Kuz, Caldwell Pope, Danny Green.
Yeah.
Rondo.
You know, those were your players. No, look, good solid role players, but that year was LeBron and AD show.
Exactly. Yeah, because whenever games came down to the last 5 minutes, You go to that pick and roll, LeBron AD, roll, bounce time,
in
dunk.
finished, exactly.
Or he kicks it 3-point.
And now, especially with Maxi developing, you'd think Embiid would want to be playing next to Maxi, and he'd want to be getting his minutes and want to be saying, no, I want to compete for an MVP again. I didn't manage to get enough games last year, unfortunate, but a winner's mentality is I go out there and I prove that I am the best. But yeah, even this whole situation with the reporters, it just shows lack of character.
You think?
I think so. I don't think you need to be going after reporters. They're just doing their job. They're writing what they think, and it's an opinion. And I mean, it was a bit
over the line
to mention his son and his late brother. But
I sometimes feel as though like reporters like to push boundaries. I get the fact that you're trying to get traction, exposure, but it's like there's a respectful way that you can go about doing it.
yeah, no, true. Also very true. Yeah. But I'm happy to see that slowly, the team that I've always enjoyed to watch, OKC, isn't blooming into a star team now.
Yeah, like one of the underrated aspect of their game is how unselfish all the players are. Like consistently, the starting five is always getting double-digit points. And Shed Holmgren, oh my god, the way he started the season, the way he dominated Jokic.
Even said to Wemby,
that was so impressive.
I am the one that you need to get past. I appreciated that dog in him.
I feel like that lined up perfectly. Like it's not ideal for any player to get injured, but for Shed to have gotten injured in his first season and last season to have counted as like his rookie season, and was at the same time as Wemby was coming into the league. That was like the two stars aligning because you have like two great big men that have a similar type of game.
Yes.
And then now they are both competing because chances are they're going to be in the league for the next 10, 15 years, playing at the highest level. God forbid there's no injuries. Every time that matchup comes to play, we're going to love seeing that.
Yes.
But I also feel like the important thing for Spurs is Chris Paul is getting old. He is old. They need to get a point guard that will be able to learn from him. Like Trey Jones, he's a good player. He needs to learn a lot under CP, develop, so that when CP retires, he can be that player that complements Wemby very well. Because Vassell will always go out there and get you buckets.
Yes.
But if you have someone that can facilitate for Wemby, because it doesn't make sense to have your 7'4", 7'5" center consistently pulling up step back threes. And don't get me wrong, he'll make them, but you saw in the Mavs game, he shot 14 threes, only made 2.
True. Yeah.
You're a 7'5" guy. You're the tallest guy on the court. Why are you shooting 12 threes? It makes no sense. And I get the fact that someone says he's young, still developing, he's still trying to pick and find his spots wherein he can eat and punish teams. But taking step back threes, 12 of them, it's just ludicrous, personally.
But I guess that's why San Antonio is where they are, and that's why OKC is where they are. I mean, OKC is undefeated. It's them and Cleveland. They're the only two teams that are saying our system works.
Yeah, and Shea's looking prime position for that MVP.
I think so. I think last year it could have definitely been Shea or Luka instead of Jokic.
Should have been Luka.
But this year, I think if OKC comes out first in the West, you have to give it to Shea. SGA is just such a baller. I'm sorry. He's phenomenal. I don't know how the Clippers traded him.
At the time, it didn't look like that. But we've had so many instances like Luka going at 3. Luka at 3. They signed, who did they draft first? Marvin Bagley III at first. Come on. So I feel like it's something similar whereby like when Shea came in, they weren't really sure about his level of ability and talents.
Yeah. And he's gone and proven everybody wrong that he is that guy.
He's so smooth. Like one thing I'll say about him, he's so smooth. Like the way he plays at like his own pace, and he's such an elite defender. Like I saw him yesterday, every matchup, whenever he was up against James Harden, he always take the task. Screen would come, he'd fight over the screen consistently. If Visa Zubac always says great screens, he was fighting over them, making sure he wanted that matchup consistently, and I like that. That's one thing I like about him. Like in the league, there aren't many great two-way players. Like a player that will go out there, get you 30 every night, get you a steal, get you blocks. Like whenever the person that is defending will struggle, will have an off night, is very rare. I think, like, off the top of my head, I would probably say Ant and Shea are the top two-way players in the league that are, like, healthy and consistently playing.
Yes.
Like, you'd make an argument for Kawhi, Paul George.
But when do they play?
Maybe Anthony Davies and Bam Adebayo. But Bam is very inconsistent with his scoring.
Yeah. And Davis also, that it just has some nights where he's on, some nights where he's off. But another player I think we should discuss is Donovan Mitchell. What a baller. What a basketball player.
Yeah, that buzzer beater yesterday with 0.3 seconds. Yeah, but Dame almost made that shot.
Yeah. I mean, and Dame was cooking 10 or 15.
That was so close. Like, with 0.3 to still get that close. It's a catch and shoot like that. It was so good.
Yeah. No, definitely. But I think that going forward, especially with the run that Cleveland have had beating Boston, they're going to be a tough team to beat. I think in the East, you're looking at Boston, Cleveland, and Knicks.
Do you think Bucks will improve? Or Philly when PG and Joel come back?
The Bucks have to improve. They're 1-5. It's a joke. You've got Dame scoring 41. You've got Giannis scoring 34.
And you're still...
And you're losing.
Yeah, because I'm like, I get the fact that Chris might not be there, who is normally their third scorer, but Brooke has to do better. Bobby's been playing well, but my concern with the Bucks right now is Dame just has one good game now. Prior to this game, Dame has been horrible. Taurean Prince is getting more minutes than Giannis and Damian Lillard. Explain to me how that makes sense. When you guys are losing, Taurean Prince is getting more minutes than Damian Lillard and Giannis. Come on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me.
And Brooke always blows my mind. He's 7'3", but he plays like a 6'6". He's never in the paint rebounding. He's always there on the pull-up. Every time he sets a screen, instead of rolling to the basket, he pops.
Always.
Constantly popping. I don't think I've ever seen Brooke like roll. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Or just set like a little bit of a ghost screen and run to the rim. Never. I don't think I've ever seen that either. Okay, so I think that concludes our segment on the NBA itself. I think, Lethabo, do you want to give them a little bit of a sneak peek of maybe a couple of bet slips that our listeners can possibly benefit from? Any recommendations? So we do have 3 games tonight.
Yeah, let me have a look at these games.
Yes. I love these games. So I do know that
first game 10:30.
Yes, Pistons versus
the Nets.
The Nets.
Matchup wise, I feel like Pistons, because on the road, they're not playing great basketball, but matchup wise, they could be a problem for the Nets because realistically, Durant, he's so big, and Claxton is not available for the Nets. So the Nets, most of the teams they've beaten are not teams that play big. Pistons play big. Yeah. Tobias Harris has a great post-up game. Durant, he's big. Yes. Like, he's gonna eat, and he's explosive. Kate Cunningham will come out there, get you a damn near triple-double, get you a 25, 8, and 8 every night. That's how he plays. So for this one, because the Nets at home and Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder's playing well, Ben Simmons is a good defender. Yeah. Say what you will about him.
Offensively, he's scared to shoot the ball, but he is a good defender.
I will probably give it to the Nets on the spread. The spread is probably quite low. When I checked it this morning, it was at minus 3.5. Which is the Nets to win by 4 points. Not a lot,
yes,
but I like them on the spread because they are heavy favorites, realistically, because Pistons have a 1-5 record.
Yes.
The next game, we have Hawks versus Pelicans. So for the Hawks versus Pelicans,
I mean, Zion's been popping off, eh?
I won't lie, though. They're not playing well because also they have not had all their players. They have not had DeJounte Murray.
Yes.
But also the problem with Pelicans this season, since they lost Jonas Valanciunas, they're struggling. They're getting beat up inside.
Yeah, they don't have that paint presence anymore.
Exactly. And Clint Capella plays big.
Clint, but you know how Clint is. He's on and off. He's on and off. I don't like Clint Capella too much because he can. Yeah, sure, he can come. There can come a night where he can come and like you say, he can come and he'll dominate. He'll be a presence. And there's other nights I don't even see Clint Capella.
But the thing is, he still gets boards. Like, he's still a big that plays big.
No, yeah.
Who's the big for the Hawks? Is it that first round pick, Zavariche. Oh, how do you say his name? The French boy.
Yes, the French guy.
Like, it's still blue.
Okay, so what are we saying for our viewers? What are we saying?
I think Pelicans. Pelicans at home, they're playing quite well. I think CJ McCallum will be back. Jose Alvarado had a great game. BI and Zion, they're too big. Like, stylistically, Hawks don't normally play good defense. Jalen Johnson's not a great defender. He's a great offensive player, but he cannot guard Zion. Like, Zion is a bad matchup for most teams, but it's a worse matchup for the Hawks.
Yeah, nobody's.
If you even want a nice player prop, go give Zion like 30 points.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay, and then the last game, your boys, the Mavricks at home to the Magic.
Easy win. No Paulo Banchero. Easy win. We cannot have 2 back-to-back games. Like, Rockets beat us because they're a great rebounding team and they're quite big. And you can say the same for the Magic, but this season they have not been that great on the offensive boards. They've been on and off, but also they're great when Paulo's there.
Yeah.
When Paulo's not there, it's who's going to shoot. They have to give
France.
That's what I'm saying. They have to give all the ball Franz Wagner. France match up against PJ Washington. You heard what Jason Kidd said during the week. Said, I wish my team had 5 PJ Washingtons.
Yeah.
Because we cannot expect PJ to guard every single player.
Yeah.
So I'll say my slip, Neds on the spread minus 3.5, Pelicans straight win, Mavs on the spread minus 8.5. Easy. These are the 3 games for today.
Okay, lovely. All right. Well, thanks, Lethabo. And thanks to our listeners, to our viewers, and to everybody behind the scenes. So Dim on the Daily, go follow him. He's making our podcast happen. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.